Hello and welcome to another episode of this podcast, The Franchise.
It is episode 33.
Thanks, buddy. I was waiting for that.
Yeah, it's okay. And I am Henry Papali, and this is my friend and host,
Daniel Ehrenberg over here on the ones and the twos. And today we'll be covering a couple of Dirty Harry movies. You might say the last two because they are. And that includes Sudden Impact by Clint Eastwood, director, and the Deadpool, the belated sequel from 2016, directed by Tim Miller. That took a weird turn because Clint
really
didn't even show up.
No, he didn't show up, and it's like it really threw me off. And the X-Men were in it. I was like, "What the fuck am I watching here?"
I know, right? But I did enjoy it. It's probably the second best movie of the series. I mean, not to spoil my rankings.
Right. No, Ryan Reynolds was great as a Dirty Harry-esque character. So
I thought so. Okay. Now we got that joke out of the way. Sudden Impact. Let's start there. Hey, directed by Clint Eastwood, the only film in the series that he has a credit on anyway.
Right.
And written by a fellow named Joseph Stinson. This came belatedly 7 years after the last one. Yeah. On December 9th, 1983. We're still going with Christmas time releases.
We sure are.
Yeah. A budget of $22 million, a box office of 67. So we're still making hits out of these bad boys.
Yeah, not a huge hit, but still a hit, right?
That's a hit. They should have kept the budget down.
Yeah, right.
But, hey, how about this? It was number 7 in box office for the year. That's pretty damn good.
That is good. Okay, yeah. Wow. I want to play that game real quick?
Let's do it. I have the top 6 here. What are they? 1983.
Start me off.
Number 6. It's a Bond movie.
Octopussy.
That is correct. You're good at Bond.
Can't fool me with those Bonds. Yeah.
Number 5. It's got kids in it. It's like a war movie, kinda.
War Games?
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
Number 4, we got a buddy comedy.
Well, it's the 80s, so that could be anything.
There's a black guy.
Not Eddie Murphy.
I don't know.
Trading Places.
Yeah. There you go.
Sure, that was a huge hit.
Hey, number 3, got a great musical, kind of, starring the great John Lithgow.
Jesus Christ.
That's right.
I'll probably never get this.
Listen, there's dancing in it, but listen, it's a little taboo in the world of this film. You should get it now.
Does he play like a cross-dresser or something?
No.
I was thinking about like...
You might say he's breaking the law.
Breaking the law.
I almost did that.
Breaking the law.
Breaking the law. Breaking the law.
I don't know, man.
Hey, I fucked up. I was describing the plot of Footloose, but that's not the movie we're talking about.
Nice.
All right, the star of this movie plays a welder.
And it's not John Lithgow.
No, it's not John Lithgow at all. It's a lady. And, but there's also some dancing and some music.
Flashdance?
That's it.
Nice.
Oh, God. Where am I today?
I don't know. A welder.
Yeah, she plays a welder.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know that I've ever watched Flashdance. I just seen the clips.
It's pretty sexy.
Yeah, it is. It's got our Adrian Lyne, our boy Adrian Lyne.
Oh, yeah. Jennifer Beals at the top of her game.
Yeah.
All right, number
All right.
2. It's a real tearjerker. Your favorite actor won an Oscar for it.
Yeah, I know what this is. Terms of Endearment.
That's right.
Yeah.
And number 1, a movie by the great filmmaker Richard Marquand.
Oh, Return of the Jedi.
There you go.
Nice.
I didn't want to make another George Lucas joke.
So where did the Footloose thing come from?
I don't know. I get Flashdance and Footloose mixed up in my head sometimes. It's almost like
That's-
a mirror window situation.
Yeah. Wow, that's a weird mix-up. Yeah. I think
Well,
Footloose
it's
was-
similar. They're like one word, 2 syllables, starting with an
Right.
F.
Okay.
They both have dancing in them.
Yes. Yes, it's true. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Return of the Jedi. That's an obvious one. Yeah.
All right. Sudden Impact. Weird history behind it.
Mm-hmm.
The original script was a vehicle for actress Sandra Locke, who was dating Clint Eastwood at the time. They were
Yeah.
living together, and Eastwood got a hold of this script and was like, this could be a Dirty Harry movie, and you could still be in it. So he passes the script off to just guy Joseph Stinson, and he sort of reverse engineers it into a Dirty Harry movie.
Mm.
And and that's how it came. All right.
Yeah, because Stinson, his credits are nada. He's got like nothing.
Yeah.
So, who this guy
Yeah,
is.
I think this might be his only credit on IMDb.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is weird.
Yeah. But we got the return. Of Lalo Schifrin.
The return of Lalo Schifrin. The return of Robert Popwell.
Albert Popwell.
Oh God.
The return of the cinematographer Bruce Surtees from the original.
And the return of the Jedi, apparently.
Yeah. So a lot of returning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Eastwood made some bank from this bad boy.
Did he?
He had a deal with the studio where not only would he get his upfront pay, but he got 60% of all profits.
Oh my God.
So from directing and starring in Sudden Impact alone, Clint Eastwood made $30 million. All
Wow.
right?
Wow, he's a good deal maker. Whew.
I bet that really
Shit.
made his day. Am I right?
I bet it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're finally at the movie with the famous phrase, Coraggio fatti ammazzare.
Go ahead, make my day.
Yeah, that's the Italian.
Yeah, but
Of
that's
that.
not. But what is it actually? The Italian thing?
Like what they're actually saying.
Yeah.
It
On Wiki, it says like it means like just fuck yourself or something.
Yeah. I don't have it up, but yeah, it's something like it's like a localization dialect thing.
Yeah, that's right.
But that was actually the title of the release in Italy.
Yeah. Go ahead, make my day. The number 6 best quote according to the American Film Institute.
Yeah. Oh, here it
favorites.
is. It translates to "Come on, let me kill you."
Yeah, that's terrible.
Not quite the same ring to it.
Come on, let me kill you. He'd be an even bigger sociopath if he said that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do it. What's the plot of Sudden Impact, Hank?
Yeah, I guess we'll continue me covering the Dirty Harry plots. Why not?
Yeah.
Well, basically, it's about this girl, this woman, who is an artist, who her and her sister, 10 years prior to the beginning of the story, were brutally beaten and raped by a gang of quasi-humans. And
this is a real fun gang rape movie.
Yeah, it's ugly in content. I'll just get that out of the way. But so she decides to. Well, actually, she sees the first guy we find out by accident, and she decides to lure one of the guys who did this to her and her sister, and she ends up killing him, and then decides why not go ahead and find all the rest of those guys and gal.
Yeah, and one lady who facilitated the gang rape.
Right, and kill them. So they call in Harry to investigate, and but not before he's involved in, obviously the some shenanigans involving, killing some other people, and your usual get going type stuff.
And she has a lovely romantic flirtation with Dirty Harry, who in this movie is on leave or something.
Well, because he and actually, I actually loved this scene when he goes to court, and he's a little bit late, and some guys he had found for possessing arms and other crimes, they get off again from the liberal judge, and he confronts them in the elevator.
yeah, and
it's a great scene. And he gives him a little, grabs him by the tie. Kevin Major Howard of Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, look at you! You know who else is in that scene? That
Rafter Man.
Okay. You know who else is in that scene that has no lines of dialogue?
Yes, I think I do.
Yeah, Cameron Manheim from The Practice.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, barely recognizable.
But I recognized she was someone. Like, I saw her and I was like, "Who's this girl?" Like, she looks familiar to me.
Well, it was weird because like the camera lingered on her for like a little bit.
Yeah, I thought it was going to turn into something, but it didn't. She's just sort of there. And I actually looked up originally to see if it was maybe like the director's daughter or something.
Yeah, right.
Wait, the director's Clint Eastwood. But
well, he has like 9. He has like 20 kids. So
of course he does.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was Wake Up, I'm Fat author Cameron Manheim. I've always remembered the name of her autobiography for some reason.
Yeah, she looks good in this, though. She's not really fat in this.
Yeah, she's fat.
I didn't think so. But, talk about a lot of lines in this movie. A lot of lines that when I was watching it, I realized this is probably one of the ones I've seen the most, even though it was still like watching it again for the first time because I still hadn't seen it in many, many years. But I think this was one of the first Dirty Harrys I ever saw. And there's just tons of lines all over this place.
Well, he's a parody of himself at this point.
Yeah, but there's still like...
It's a weird movie because Dirty Harry, it has the highest stakes of any movie since the first one. I mean, it's a gang rape situation.
Right.
And one of the girls, like, her sister is just comatose in a hospital, right?
Yeah, she's like catatonic.
Catatonic, yeah. And fucking Dirty Harry, though, the character, is a cartoon.
Yeah.
It's weird and uncomfortable at times. But can you explain why Dirty Harry is, like, undercover in this small town? Because... like, the first, 15 minutes of him being in this small town are, like, fucking Kindergarten Cop.
Well, he immediately runs into a bank robber and commandeers an old people's,
with, a little bus, like a short bus. And, old people are still inside of this thing. And they're like, you get him. Get that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But he's putting these people's lives in danger.
As usual.
He is, he's just
careless.
Murdering people in these movies. Like, worse than the first three.
But before we get past it, we got to talk about the most famous scene in the movie, right? We got to go to the "Go Ahead, Make My Day" scene.
Sure, my father's favorite scene in a Dirty Harry.
Well, it's a great scene, and it's really well directed, and I love everything about it. Like, he goes into we assume his daily coffee joint, and I love how the waitress, he goes in there and he says, "Loretta." And she doesn't acknowledge him, but as he's reading his paper very intently, she's pouring sugar. I think a lot of people don't know this, like, lead up. She's pouring sugar, like an endless amount of sugar into his coffee to get his attention. And everyone in the diner is quiet, and clearly there's something going on. And he leaves, and drinks his coffee and spits it out, and then you cut to the bank robbers saying, "Okay, you guys did real good with that cop," and then they start robbing the joint. And then in the back of the diner, he shows up, and he says, "What's a great lead up for me? I love." He goes, "Every day I've been coming in here for 10 years to get my coffee, black, except today Loretta put some sugar in it, a lot of sugar." And then it just goes on to him murdering those guys. They do pull a gun on him. So
well, he has
self-defense.
No, he has the stupid line like,
Why don't you guys go get on out of here?
No, he says like, we're gonna have to stop you, and they're like, who? Who's we?
Oh yeah, that's great.
He goes,
me,
Smith, and Wesson, and he pulls out his gun, and they just watch him pull out his gun.
Yeah, they let him give him a minute. They give him a minute.
Maniac cop comes into the diner, reaches his hand into his jacket, and they're just like, "What's this all about?
What could he be pulling out of there?"
Yeah,
it's very slow. What could he be pulling out of there?
Yeah,
and then
but it's a fun scene.
Oh, it's a great scene. And then the final robber has Loretta at gunpoint, and actually, he doesn't even say anything. I thought I remembered the robber saying something like, "I'll kill her, man, I'll kill her," but he doesn't say anything. Harry just looks at him and says the line.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of nonsense.
And doesn't kill him.
Yeah, I know.
The robber
pisses his pants, whatever. Listen, I have a real problem with the pacing in this movie. And I want to get there right away.
Sure.
That scene's fun. We don't need it. That elevator scene is fun. We don't need it.
The wedding scene's fun.
We don't need it.
Well, none of them are connected to the main story.
And that's a real problem for me.
It's not for me because they're the best scenes in the movie.
Yeah, I know that, but the movie's over 2 hours long.
Right.
And it feels longer.
Yeah. I didn't feel longer.
Oh,
I
it's
felt
interminable.
2 hours.
It's interminable. I tweeted during this movie, fun fact, at 9 years long, Sudden Impact is the longest film ever made.
I felt like
follow me over there at Low Stakes Daniel for more of those witticisms.
Yeah, right. I didn't feel like it was. Is it the longest one, or was Magnum Force or the Enforcer longer?
I think it's longer than Magnum Force by like 2 minutes, but it feels way longer.
Yeah. But I love that wedding scene when he goes in and gives Frank Pentangeli from Godfather 2. Nice little cameo.
But it's
you recognize him?
No, I didn't. That's a good catch. But I mean, it's garbage too, because he goes in to. It's just Dirty Harry being a fucking dickhead. He has to ruin this girl's wedding. First of all, he can do this anytime. Well,
it was done for humiliation. He wanted to humiliate the guy.
And he gives him a heart attack by just sort of threatening him. And, but he seemed to know this was going to give this guy a heart attack. Like,
absolutely.
He's got super heart-stopping powers.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
I liked it.
It's all right. I mean, I just have such a problem with the fact that the Sudden Impact, the premise of it, is him investigating these gang rape murders. And he doesn't know about them until 45 minutes into the movie.
Well, that's true. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the movie is just... But I guess that's one of the reasons I liked parts of the movie was because it just kind of dispenses with... it has more action than some of the other ones. And it just kind of... It puts the plot in there... And it's almost like you said. Well, you didn't say this, but you're implying it's almost like every other scene is something that has nothing to do with the plot, and then cuts back to the plot. But the scenes that interrupt the plot were the best parts of the movie. So,
but these Dirty Harry movies are police procedurals. Just walk me through the case. That's
A
all
little
I
bit,
want
yeah,
from them.
yeah.
I don't want some weird like a week in the life of Dirty Harry. Like
See, I didn't mind that. I kind
because
of like that.
the whole thing is just like he's out of control. We gotta tell you that he's out of control.
He's
And
a walking friggin' combat zone.
is this the movie where he murders? Yeah, there's like 3 pranksters in this movie driving in
well,
a
they
car.
try to kill him.
They
Yeah.
don't. They're not like shooting at him. They're just
They
like
throw 2 Molotov cocktails into his car, man.
whatever, man. So
What
like,
are you? What are you, a liberal? What are you, a
yes,
liberal judge?
I am. So as a cop, what he does is drown them to death.
Well, you look at it as a proactive murdering stuff, whereas I think a lot of it is obviously could be done with. I mean, it goes without saying that any of these scenes, Dirty Harry would have been off the force 20 years ago, but
He
we're
should
in a
have been.
fucking-
He threw his fucking badge into the river.
Yeah, good point. But, you know, he's reactive to all these people trying to kill him. So, you know, I mean, I don't know. They drove into the lake. What can I say? The Bay Area.
I mean, there's so much like that. I mean, because, like, you say what you will about the wedding scene, it's kind of fun at least, but then that sets up a whole mob subplot, and I just don't need it.
Yeah. Yeah, so too much extraneous stuff for you in this.
Yeah, because I kind of liked the gang rape storyline, weirdly.
See, I didn't, and I think that's what separates our opinion here. I never did. I always thought it was just such a...
It's too ugly.
Yeah, it's so
I'm
ugly,
with you on
and-
that, but I gotta say something. This Sandra Locke character that Clint Eastwood was banging carries the movie.
Yeah, she's really good.
She's good, and
Really good.
I mean, she never really acted much after this, and it's
She acted before this.
in Eastwood movies.
Right, exactly.
Look.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that the death of her career is totally Eastwood's fault because she was offered the role of Carrie, or she was offered to audition. Like, they wanted to cast her as Carrie in Carrie. Did you know this?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No?
And she said, like, she wouldn't audition. She just wanted an offer.
Oh.
And
yeah.
and she lost that part. But fucking, you know, she does say that Clint Eastwood's a sociopath and like a piece of shit. It was horrible to her the entire time.
Yeah,
they were together.
I've read that before.
Yeah.
I didn't read it for this podcast, but that's kind of like Hollywood lore now, right? Like
Yeah.
she just wrote that book about him, like he's such an ass.
He has.
Yeah.
She has a memoir called "The Good, the Bad, and the Very Ugly."
Yeah. Ooh, ouch.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm remembering memoir titles all over the place today.
Yeah, you are.
Check out "Wake Up,
Fat.
I'm Fat" by Cameron Manheim.
I will say this movie has possibly the worst acronym thrown around by our buddy
Oh,
Albert Rockwell.
yeah, because Clint's a real jamf in this movie.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's a funny scene because he introduces his new favorite weapon, the automatic 44,
Mm-hmm.
the
Upgrade.
44 Automag, and we
Evil
have a
gets an upgrade.
yeah, right.
Jason X.
And he has a misleading scene where you think that he's going to be killed by yet another person, but it's his bud just shooting the shit on the firing range with him. And he says, like, what's the line? Like, you got to stay off the streets for a while, Harry, because you a jamf.
And Harry's
It's like-
like, "What's a jamf?"
And I love the cut before they can get to jive ass mother. Sorry, I asked.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
could've done, you know,
it's like Die Hard 4, you know. Yippee-ki-yay, mother.
yeah, right. Yeah,
But,
I'm sure when they air this on TV, if they didn't have that edit, it would have to be like, "You're a jive ass mother, bother."
I know.
Yeah.
I was just watching Happy Gilmore on TV.
I'm sorry.
Why?
I'm sorry you were watching that.
It's a great movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a great movie. But there's that, you know, he fights Bob Barker, and Bob Barker says, "The price is wrong." Oh, he says to Bob Barker, "The price is wrong, bitch."
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh.
You haven't seen that movie enough. Do you at least like Billy Madison?
No.
That's an amazing movie.
I'm not an Adam Sandler
Yeah,
fan.
but the early Sandler's great.
The Wedding Singer's the only one I liked.
Go fucking.
Hey.
You're a real jamf. But anyway, yeah. Instead of "The price is wrong, bitch" on the TV version, he says, "The price is wrong, Bobby."
Oh boy.
Yeah, it drove me nuts. Because it's the
We
best line
finally
in the
also get. I like you were waiting for "Go Ahead, Make My Day" from the beginning of the series. I had had it in my head that his little thing where he says "swell." I thought that was running throughout all 5 movies, and that didn't start till this one.
The last 2 movies, Sudden Impact and the Deadpool, are inundated with potential catchphrases.
Yeah, it's true.
They're really trying for something, and they do get one in this one. It sticks, but
I'll say.
But the Deadpool, there's so many lines like that where it's like, oh, this is going to be on an AFI list someday.
Yeah, not quite.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, like, and also there's but there's some good lines. Like, I like when when the Captain Briggs from The Enforcer, they brought him back, the worst captain in the whole series.
Thank God.
When he's yelling at him and says, "Do you know who you're talking to, Harry? Do you have any idea of my record?" And he goes, "You're a legend in your own mind." I love that. I've used that phrase and had no idea that it was from Dirty Harry.
Well, I don't think it is. I think that's a thing.
Yeah, is it or is it not? That's probably not, right?
I don't think Joseph Stinson came up with that.
Yeah, that has to be something that's been said, but I can't think of anything that it has. But anyway.
Yeah.
Did you know there's so many character actors in this movie, and they're almost in every fucking scene. Like the main bad guy, I recognized instantly. You wouldn't, but I recognized him instantly as one of the crooks in Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, no way. But I don't even know who the main bad guy is. That's kind of a problem with this movie.
It's a little strange.
Because it's just a group of gang rapists. The
all
only
horrific.
one I found particularly interesting was the one who has escaped the gang rape game and is now running his own business. I enjoyed that. He's
the one who speaks with a very strange type of diction.
Yeah, she goes to kill him, Sandra Locke, and he's just like, "Listen, I used to be a gang rapist, yes, but I am no longer."
And he doesn't even apologize. He's like,
No.
it wasn't that bad, was it?
Yeah, he says that.
Oh, boy.
Oh, that is not
you
what you
wanna
say to your gang rape victim.
No.
And it looked pretty bad. There's a flashback in this movie that is way too much. It is.
I agree.
It is a brutal gang rape sequence.
I agree, and having taken place in the under the boardwalk with all the rides, it just gives it this nightmarish. I mean, I guess that's the point, but it's really whoa.
Dirty Harry movies should be a little fun.
I agree.
And this one wasn't fun. I was bored and it didn't make me feel right. You know?
Yeah. No, I understand.
I felt iffy about it.
I still liked it though. I thought there was enough in it that Harry, the scenes like we said without all that stuff, I thought were good.
I don't know, man. I thought it was poorly edited. I thought the tone was all off. It's this dark gang rape movie, and then we're getting farting dog scenes.
That was fucking terrible. Yeah.
Yo,
by the way, I
Clint
read
Eastwood
something.
has a dog sidekick in this movie.
Yes, he does.
It's adorable, the little pup, but it's also it's peeing on stuff. It's farting. You're supposed to be like, what a gross dog.
Right.
It's really stupid.
Now, let me tell you something that really horrified me, and I didn't get this from watching the movie, but sometimes after the movie's over, I reread the plot just to refresh and see if there was anything. And this one said something, and I didn't get this, okay? But when Albert Popwell, his friend Horace, who, by the way, we should mention, finally doesn't play a crook. He finally plays like a good guy in one of these dirty Harry. He goes to just like visit him in his hotel room up there and wherever the fuck he is. Where is he? San Marco, San Paulo, San something? I don't know. And he is murdered by some hitmen. And when Eastwood discovers his body, he finds his body, and then there's a shot of the dog, and it looks kind of like the dog is like limping. So I was just like, oh, that's just because the dog is, fat and overweight, right? So I'm reading the plot, and it fucking says, like, Harry finds his friend murdered, and his dog has been neutered by these hitmen.
Oh, come on.
And I was like, what?
I don't like any movie that treats animals badly.
No, and I didn't, but I don't even know if that's what's going on there. I mean, what a horrifying...
It must be. Why write that?
Well, it's a Wikipedia plot review. I mean, it could have been someone...
plot reviews on Wikipedia are usually accurate.
Yeah, but if that's the case, holy shit. Yeah, so Harry's pissed.
So, look... this lady, Sandra Locke, is going around killing all these gang rapists. But she has a very specific way of doing it. She shoots them in the balls. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't catch that. Yeah.
Yeah. Every single one of them. One in the balls, one in the head. That's her M.O.
Yeah. Except for the woman who she shoots in the tits.
I was getting to that.
Oh, sorry.
I thought that was really interesting.
It was.
Choice.
Yeah, it was an interesting choice. I don't know why she didn't get it in the
I mean,
in the private. Mm.
So obviously Clint, because she's a crazy sociopath, he's got a real boner for her.
Yeah.
So he brings her in for a nightcap, and they drink. They drink some brandy, which I thought was odd. Yeah,
very odd. I had the same thought. Just watching Clint Eastwood drink out of a what do you call it? A sifter?
Yeah.
Very odd. It didn't work.
Let's have some brandy and then fuck.
Yeah, no, all of a sudden he's like Ralph Fiennes in The English Patient. It didn't really work there. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was that scene that I realized maybe the biggest problem with this movie. Dirty Harry movies are police thrillers. Okay? This movie is a film noir.
Ooh. Interesting.
And it doesn't work because they're trying to have it where Dirty Harry's like a private eye.
Yeah.
But he's not. He's like a cop who is like on leave from San Francisco. Like, it doesn't feel like a Dirty Harry movie to me. It's some random Clint Eastwood private eye movie, and it sucks.
Okay.
All right.
Did you like the scene after they beat the living shit out of him and he falls into the river? And
by the way, another film noir trope.
Sure, absolutely. You're right. Mm-hmm. And when they grab Sandra Locke and she repeatedly gets, holds her own and keeps escaping, but then when they get her and then all of a sudden the one bank robber, whatever. Sorry, there's so many fucking bank robbers. The one, he's not one of the rapists, but he's one of the rapist friends.
He's a rapist sympathizer.
Right, he's a rapist sympathizer. The camera cuts to him and he goes, holy shit. And there's that shot of Clint, the most egomaniacal shot in the movie, but it's awesome, where you see his silhouette at the very end of the pier.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's all right.
Oh, dude. That's fucking awesome. I love it.
I also didn't like all this happening at the beach. The beach is a sacred place where only fun should be had.
Yeah.
I don't like gang rapes happening under a boardwalk. Boardwalks are lovely.
Yeah, they are. They are under the boardwalk.
Yeah, I only ever want to think of 4th of July Asbury Park by Bruce Springsteen when I'm on a boardwalk. Not gang rape.
Or Under the Boardwalk by whoever sang that
Oh,
song.
who cares? So, yeah, we come to the climax. She's trying to escape from these guys on a Ferris wheel. No, not a Ferris wheel, a merry-go-round.
Right.
And, she's trying to hide. And the whole time I'm just thinking, Clint, dude, you're not Hitchcock, and this isn't Strangers on a Train. Get it together. You're making a Dirty Harry movie.
Yeah.
And but it was kind of worth it because that one dude gets impaled on the unicorn's horn.
Oh, yeah.
That was baller.
Yeah.
And it ends with Clint letting he frames one of the dead fellas and lets Sandra Locke go free.
Lets her off.
Yeah. This is the first Dirty Harry movie where anytime the stupid, police superiors are like, Harry, what are you doing? I'm totally on their side.
You know what I wish they would have done a little more with? I like that this is the only Dirty Harry movie where he doesn't have a partner. But he kind of has
because he's not a cop. He's a fucking private eye.
Right. But he has that kind of helper in the local police department, and I kind of like
and he has that
character.
dog.
Yeah, he has the dog.
Yeah, I liked that guy too. He was.
And I wish they would have done a little bit more with him. That would have been cool. And then you get the whole explanation as to why these rapists got off in the first place, because Pat Hingle.
Yeah, Pat Hingle is in this movie.
Explains that, the whole thing about his son who was guilty, the one rapist who was guilty about it. And, so, it was, yeah. I don't know.
Do you want my hot take on Pat Hingle?
Sure.
He's a bad actor.
Too melodramatic, too what?
Just monotone. I never get anything out of his performances.
Yeah. Interesting.
There's a new villain in town. His name is Mr. Freeze.
Right. Well, we're getting to that.
Yeah, is he in your superhero account? I sure hope so.
Obviously. Yeah. All right. Well, what else I got? I don't know.
I got nothing. You want to wrap Sudden Impact up?
Yeah, we can wrap it up.
Obviously it ends with Roberta Flack's This Side of Forever, which you heard at the beginning.
Kind of a Bondian touch there.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Yeah,
you know what it sounds like? A song that you might find in a film noir.
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to do the superhero count before we do our rating and MVPs.
Sure, yeah.
Because I got fucking 6.
6. All right, let's go fast. Yeah. You got Pat Hingle, who played Commissioner Gordon in the 4 Batman movies. There.
We got Albert Popwell again, Wonder Woman, Incredible Hulk. Yeah. We got one of the most despicable characters, Ray, the lesbian. Audrey.
She is a nightmare. Oh my god! You know who she reminded me of? Do you remember the diner owner in Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, whose only character trait is that she swears a lot?
Yeah. Good call. That's Audrey Neenan, and she was in Lois and Clark.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, I IMDb'd this, and I actually had to stop because the IMDb gets ridiculous. It reminded me why I don't use them. Because they have
they're
40...
completists.
Yeah, exactly. But they've got 48 credits. It's like, okay. But Kevin Major Howard, who plays the punk in the beginning who drives into a river, Rafter Man from Full Metal Jacket.
Dirty Harry drowns.
Right. He was in the show Superboy.
Oh, that's a good pull.
Yeah.
I remember that show.
One of the detectives in the movie is an actor named Joe Dellen, who played Freddy the Fainter in The Enforcer. Remember the guy who faints in the restaurant to get a free meal?
Oh, yeah.
Fucking dumb scene. He was in the Flash TV series.
The original or the new one?
The original.
Okay.
Yeah. And last but not least, one of the assassins, the big thugs for the mobster, was in the 1990 movie Captain America.
Oh, with J.D. Salinger's son.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Captain America in that movie is played by a fellow named Joe Salinger, who's J.D. Salinger's
Oh my
son.
God, I didn't know that.
How about that?
Wow. So that's a big sixer on that sudden impact there.
That's right. J.D.
Yeah.
Salinger, the young Pope's favorite author. Young Pope! Yeah!
Smoking cigarettes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, come on. Delivering homilies in the dark.
To a nation that is stunned. Yeah.
Don't jerk off to his sculptures. That's Young Pope. Sundays and Monday nights on HBO. Check it out.
Good show. Good show. Dan got me into that one.
My biggest recommendation of the year.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's worth it, folks. All right. MVP, LVP?
Oh, fucking hell. MVP Sandra Locke.
Me too.
Yeah.
LVP for me is Ray, the lesbian character. As a character, she's just so fucking unpleasant and horrifying and overwritten. It's just awful to behold.
She is annoying. I'm going with Clint.
Are you really?
I
In his
am.
Go Ahead Make My Day movie, you're
Yep.
picking Clint Eastwood.
That's right. He directed it.
Oh, boy.
Listen, not to spoil the rankings at the end, but I liked Sudden Impact about as much as I liked The Enforcer. But
Okay.
one thing is that The Enforcer is really stupid, but it's quick and it's fun and it's paced okay. Sudden Impact is a boring slog of a movie.
All right.
And
Well, I won't give you my opinion on that yet.
well, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 2, like I did with The Enforcer.
I'm giving it 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought there was enough entertaining action in it, and I didn't think it was as poorly directed as you said. So, but it is low on my ranking, but I'm giving it 3.
I was not entertained.
All right, fair enough. I have nothing to really argue that. I can totally understand that.
Let's
Yeah,
move
we've
on.
been-
What?
Yeah. No, nothing. I was going to say we've been pretty simpatico on these Dirty Harrys.
Mostly. We haven't been more than a grade apart.
Yeah.
Let's move on to a movie I was entertained by. Deadpool from 2016. Starring, directed by Tim Miller.
Yeah. Just do that
it was
joke
nominated for 2 Golden Globes.
again. Yeah.
All right, let's do it. The Deadpool.
The Deadpool. 3
yeah.
words.
Yeah, 3 words. Directed by Buddy Van Horn.
Mhm.
He's directed
who-
3 movies. They're all Clint Eastwood movies.
Yeah, who horned his way in onto the Magnum Force trifecta of directors.
That's right. Yeah, it's written by a fella named Steve Sharon, and hey, released July 13th, 1988.
Whoa!
Hang on,
Whoa, wait a
hang on.
Wait
No!
a second.
I'm not watching a Dirty Harry movie in summertime.
No.
Why
For
would they do
17
that?
years we've had these things at Christmas. What's going on?
It worked for 4 movies. Why would you change it? And then this movie's the biggest failure.
I know. I read that.
Budget of $31 million, box office of $37.
Ooh, boy.
That's a tank right there.
That really is. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Wow. Boy.
It was number 30 in box office for the year. All 4 of the first 4 were in the top 10. I'll remind you.
You're right. Wow. I'm glad you did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was just ahead of Red Heat. All right, but
Ugh.
just behind Midnight Run.
Oh.
Midnight Run, one of the movies I most get yelled at for never having seen.
Rightly so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, I want to be upfront about this.
Mm.
I had a real nice time watching this movie.
I loved it.
You loved it.
Yeah.
I don't want to go that far, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. What's a great time is what I mean. When I say I loved it, I don't mean like it's Goodfellas, but it's I loved it. It was really entertaining.
It's fun as shit. It's a slim 91 minutes.
It's real short.
Jim
Yeah.
Carrey is in it. Guns N' Roses are in it.
Yeah, they are not only in the audio but in the visual.
Yeah. Liam Neeson's around.
He's great. Yeah,
Oh, he's my
Yeah.
MVP.
he's my MVP.
All right.
He is committed.
Oh, he's all over the place.
I
in this
love
movie.
him in
Yeah.
this movie. I forgot how many scenes he's in, and that he is just into it. He's
Hey.
really good.
But, by the way, maybe my runner-up for MVP, you got Patricia Clarkson, a
Yeah,
very
that
young
was tough
Patricia
for me.
Clarkson. She's great.
That was tough. Yeah, to pick. Yeah,
Mhm.
she's fantastic. Yeah.
Paul Schneider's clown mother in All the Real Girls, among many movies you've
Among
actually
a
seen.
thousand other great
yeah,
movies.
yeah.
Jesus
But that's
Christ.
my favorite.
Okay.
But she's great. I love Patricia Clarkson.
So do I.
Always. Like,
Always.
without fail. I've never disliked her in a movie.
I agree. And looking at her filmography, I've seen almost everything she's ever done.
Mhm. Same.
She's very, very prolific. Yeah, she's great.
But, so hey, go premise. Hey, wait, hang on. We missed something in Sudden Impact. I want to go back for a second.
Sure.
I'm really sorry. It does tie into this movie because Lalo Schifrin, he's the composer.
Yeah.
He skipped The Enforcer, came back for these two.
Mm,
But it's the 80s now,
that sure is.
and it's garbage.
Oh. He doesn't quite make the transition very well.
No
But-
one did.
Right. Exactly. I'm giving him a pass
It's
because
the 80s, so all of a sudden the drums, so prevalent and so great in the first
Yeah.
two movies, sound like filtrated shit.
yeah, he's no Harold Faltermeyer. I'll
no.
say that.
He's slapping the bass.
He's slipping the bass.
Yeah,
man.
and
Slipping the bass.
and there's synths all over the place. It is garbage. And so Lalo Schifrin, who I was such a fan of in those first two movies, oh, it just sucks. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
No.
It didn't bother me. I didn't even really notice it. Like I noticed it very prevalently in the opening credits, but
I
throughout-
noticed it so much. It's like
Did you?
the score is just like bam, ba, bam, bam, digga, digga, dig. Like it's just horrible.
Yeah. He's slipping the bass. You shouldn't have said that. 'Cause
I know.
yeah.
Now you won't get off of that
Big
forever.
mistake. Big mistake. Yeah, but we do have an interesting credit here. We have the cinematographer that Eastwood used on 1 billion films, the Oscar-nominated Jack N. Green, who I only noticed it because this movie looks good.
The Deadpool does.
Yeah, I think it does.
I think it uses San Francisco better than any movie since at least
The first
Magnum
one.
Force.
Yeah, and I like his colorings, and he was nominated for Unforgiven.
And the fucker, and it just moves. 91 minutes. That's what you
Yeah.
want.
Well, I'm talking about the cinematographer, but yes.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
you're-
sorry. I was thinking editor, but both.
Both.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else Jack N. Green shot?
Jack and Green. It sounds like he's like pro climate change masturbator.
You would never guess if you didn't look him up. Don't look him up. I'm gonna give you well, I don't know what to give you as a hint.
That's
but
what
I'm
Al
gonna-
Gore does every day, brother. Before bed, he goes Jack and Green.
Yeah, he's slipping the bass.
Stop it! No, you're not allowed to. You have to give me $1 for every time you say that for the rest of the podcast.
Well, it kind of ties in because one of the movies he shot stars the guy who says that line 1,000 times.
Paul Rudd?
Yep. One of them, he shot a movie involving Paul Rudd.
Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers?
No, but that's a great guess because that would make way more sense than 40-year-old virgin.
Hey, how about that?
This guy's great. I love this Jack Green. Yeah,
Jack and Green.
Jack and Green. Yeah. Yeah, the movie is good. It's witty. I love that there's a Scorpio reference. It looks back on the old
There is?
other movies. Yeah.
I think I missed that.
When he sits down to dinner with Patricia Clarkson and she's pulling out like she has like a scrapbook of Dirty Harry's like
Yeah.
And there's like a newspaper clipping that says killer Scorpio caught by Harry Callahan. Yeah.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Hank, give me the plot.
Yeah, all right. So there's a thing called the Deadpool that some sleazier people are up to, like this director of horror films, Liam Neeson, and it's just simply a pool for
Peter
money.
Swan.
Peter Swan, great name, great name.
All the character names are great.
Yeah, they are. And they just take bets on based on celebrity, famous people, their age, their occupation, how hated they are, and who's going to die of whatever way first. And Jim Carrey's the first to go because he is a heroin-addicted rock star filming a movie, and he's given a hot dose.
Yeah, he's starring in a movie, and Jim Carrey is only in like 5 minutes of this movie.
But he's very prominent, his face and all that, and he gets to do some Jim Carrey stuff.
I want to say he was almost my MVP.
Yeah,
he's a star, this guy.
You're right.
When we first meet him, he is, I mean, come on.
He is Jim Carreying it up.
He's not even, though. It's not quite Jim Carrey. You know what it is? It's a little on the Crispin Glover side.
Okay.
I think he's Crispin Glovering it up.
You think he's like taking that as a model?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because it's a very weird performance. Like, not in the same way. Like, Ace Ventura is a weird performance.
Right.
But that's like Jerry Lewis or whatever. Like,
right.
This is a weird, like, 80s. Like, Jim Carrey saw The River's Edge or something. And, like, it's very strange. And so, he's filming a music video. No, it's not a music video, though. That's what I thought it was. He's filming a movie.
Very strange, yeah.
But the scene is he's in a hotel room at a place called the Hotel Satan, which is also the title of the movie, Hotel Satan.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson's the director, and he's running around this hotel room lip-syncing to Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses, which I would have used at the start of this episode, except I already did for The Predator.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Predator. I don't want to add a the. We like proper titles on this.
Right, and The Predator is going to be an actual movie.
Yeah, that's the new Shane Black movie.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's just running around. I mean, Crispin Glover / Jim carrying it up. Just eyes bulging out of his head. You can see every bone in his neck. He's just flipping around. I mean, and he's dressed like a punk rocker, which I found funny. Because, do you remember that story about Jim Carrey at Barnes & Noble? Were you there for that event?
No.
Hank and I used to work at the Barnes & Noble in Union Square, and we had Jim Carrey for an event. Katie told me the story.
That's before I worked there, or I don't know.
Might have been.
I don't know. Yeah.
And so while he was signing books or whatever he was signing, they had to put music on. Because that's what you do at Barnes & Noble. And so they put on the first Weezer album.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And Jim Carrey called Katie over.
Oh, so I had left. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey called Katie over to the desk and whispered to her, "Hey, can we switch the music? I don't like heavy metal."
Oh boy, Jim.
Yeah.
Okay.
What a square.
Mm.
Yeah.
What a Johnny square.
I know. Fuck. I was just about to make that joke.
I'm sorry. I didn't know if you were or not.
Yeah, he plays a character named Johnny Squares in this movie.
I'm
who
sorry.
I guess is a punk rocker. I think he's supposed to be like Billy Idol or some shit.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah.
And,
what was Jim Carrey promoting that he needed to come to a Barnes and Noble?
I don't know. Did he write some stupid book?
God, I don't know.
I don't know.
Was weird.
Maybe he was promoting like anti-vaccinations or something. He's a fucking weirdo, that guy.
He is. Yeah, he is.
But listen, he's a weirdo now. He used to be great.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim Carrey. We'll do those Ace Ventura movies at some point.
Right, yeah.
But, I mean, I still love a lot of Jim Carrey performances.
So do I. He's still
Cable
funny, didn't he? Like a couple of years ago, didn't he? Like, wasn't he like an introducer for one of the at the Golden Globes or the Oscars?
Yeah,
and,
and he was good.
killed
He was
it?
good.
Yeah, he was hilarious.
Yeah, he's still funny. But, like, I mean, come on. Just, I mean, to me, classics. Cable Guy. Truman
Oh.
Show.
yeah.
First Dumb and Dumber. We could cover those
Yeah.
movies, too. Man on the Moon.
Yeah.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh,
All right? Those are some
Yeah.
great movies right there,
Yeah.
just off the top of my head.
yeah.
I mean, he
Yeah.
probably has more that I'm not thinking of.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
How about that?
I agree. Yeah.
Hey, Super-
Cable
is he
Guy.
in- is
Cable
he-
Guy being my favorite one.
Possibly mine, too.
Yeah.
I can't wait to cover Ace Ventura, but I'm also worried about it because there are a lot of really bad continuity errors in that movie,
Oh, really?
and I love it, but I'm gonna feel obligated to talk about them.
I haven't seen them in over 20 years.
Oh, we
so-
gotta do that soon.
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it soon. Fucking Jim Carrey. What was I getting to?
I think you were about to say something about is he in your
Superhero count.
obviously.
Okay, good. I want to make sure you didn't forget him. He was the Riddler.
yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, Jim Carrey, and then as you were about to say, he's in his trailer shooting heroin,
yeah.
and someone comes in and gives him like a worse, like designer version of heroin and kills him because
Right.
he's on the Deadpool list.
That's right.
And it turns out who else is on the Deadpool list? That's right, Dirty Harry Callahan, because
right.
he is experiencing a weird 15 minutes of fame
Yeah.
because all of a sudden San Francisco has completely changed its tone and decided that vigilantes are awesome.
Vigilantes are awesome.
Don't
He
really
puts
know
away-
why. There's no explanation, but it
Well, he
works
puts
for the
away a big
premise.
mob boss. He finally succeeds in not killing somebody
Yeah.
and actually getting them prosecuted.
The movie does open with Dirty Harry chasing these mob guys and shooting all three of them in the face.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everyone thinks that's awesome.
Yep.
So,
We're revitalizing our public image, Harry.
yeah,
Yeah.
so he's like beloved by the media, but he hates the media.
Yeah.
But the cops want him to be like the face of the department. So he's doing interviews with Patricia Clarkson and shit.
And they give him a Chinese American partner.
They give him a Chinese American partner, which is going to look great. I actually kind of liked the Chinese American partner.
Oh, so did I.
Yeah.
I think he's really good.
Yeah.
Of course, he knows karate.
I could have lived without that, and I could have lived without the fact that, like, to protect him, his uncle made Chinese markings on his chest. Oh.
Yeah, although I did like the line that is finally self-aware of the racism, where they go the dumb publicity guy in the police department goes, and it'll look good to have a Chinese American partner, and Harry and the police chief both kind of put their head in their hands, like that was a dumb thing to say.
Yeah, that was kind of a nice moment.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'll tell you what, the comedy in the Deadpool is actually pretty funny mostly.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so over the top. I mean, just to go back to Liam Neeson and Jim Carrey, like, they're making this film called Hotel Satan. Liam Neeson is playing this sort of revered horror filmmaker. I think he has like a cult following, but maybe critics don't like his movies as much.
Yeah, who would he be like in real life? Like who would he be
In
his equivalent?
1988, maybe we're talking Wes Craven.
Yeah, or like even John Carpenter.
No, I feel like John Carpenter was always pretty liked by critics, but
Revered,
like,
yeah.
in like '88, like that's when.
Well, I didn't necessarily mean 88. I meant like any time, like an equivalent, because that would be apropos. Like just who would we?
I'm just trying to think of who this could be based on.
Oh, yeah.
And I say
know.
that because there's a film critic that gets murdered later in the movie,
Yeah.
who is specifically based on Pauline Kael.
Oh, you think so?
I
was
know
gonna ask
so.
you.
I read an interview.
Oh, interesting. Ooh.
So they murder a famous San Francisco film critic, and she's dressed and made up to look like Pauline Kael did in the late '80s.
Boy, I didn't.
I hate any time a movie does
I
this.
know you do.
Because critics are allowed to shit on your movies. I'm sorry. They're
And
allowed.
would this be directly related to her scathing of him of
In
Clint
Magnum
Eastwood?
Force.
Yeah, it
Yes,
has to be,
it
right?
is.
Because okay.
It is. Buddy Van Horn said that.
Oh wow. Okay, I'm glad I didn't read that. I love the surprises. Boy,
Yeah.
boy.
And
Wonder how she reacted to that. Did she have a reaction?
I'm sure she didn't give a shit.
Yeah,
But
I'm sure she didn't either.
the other time I can remember a movie doing this is in Roland Emmerich's Godzilla. Roger Ebert had given a bad review of Independence Day.
Mm-hmm.
And Roland Emmerich was like, "How can you shit on ID4? It's
Yeah.
such a great film."
Right.
And so, if you watch Godzilla now, the mayor of New York is this incompetent fat guy named Mayor Ebert, and in every scene he's just like, I can't deal with this right now. Where's chicken wings? I need chicken wings."
Oh my
And
God.
it's like,
I don't remember that.
the whole movie is just like Roland Emmerich using up time in a Godzilla movie to call Roger Ebert fat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's great.
I'm sure at the time because I saw that movie in the theater.
Me too.
I'm sure. Huh?
Me too.
Yeah, I'm sure at the time I caught that, but I haven't seen it since because it was fucking terrible.
I've seen
but
it
I know
many
you
times.
like it. I know you like it. Yeah. Wow.
And of course, the worst example of this is in
Birdman.
the Best Picture winner, Birdman, or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance.
Right.
And honestly, the unexpected virtue of ignorance is that you don't know that it's a fucking stupid idea to shit on critics in your movies. And I was so mad at the Oscars for giving The Revenant Best Picture the next year. I mean, for giving Birdman or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance the Best Picture. Because, like, here's a guy, Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu, who hates you and thinks you're a bunch of morons. I mean, just a hateful, idiotic person. and so you're gonna give him Best Picture 2 years in a row. Great.
Well, yeah, it's not just critics who vote on that, my friend.
That's
It's
true.
also, yeah.
No, you're right. It's the creative community or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Fuck Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu. He hasn't made a good movie since 2003.
I couldn't disagree with you more, so that's another conversation for another time. But
Okay. Has he made a sequel yet?
Amores Perros 2. Dos.
Yeah. Muertos perros. All right.
Babylon 5, did he make that?
That's not a sequel.
To Babel.
That's a good joke.
Thank you.
No, Babylon 5 created by J. Michael Straczynski. I actually know that.
Right.
I'm still on Hotel Satan. I have so much to say.
Oh, that's okay.
Jim Carrey shooting heroin in leather pants and a handcuff belt.
Nice.
How about that?
Yeah.
We pan up as he's dying to see that Hotel Satan already has a poster. I'm sorry. Movies do not have posters when they're in production.
Mid-shoot.
And so he's got a Hotel Satan poster hanging on his wall. And the tagline, just gold.
What is it?
You check in, you die.
Oh, boy.
Uh-huh.
That's,
So he's dead. Dirty Harry and his Chinese-American partner go to interview director Liam Neeson, who has a sweet ponytail in this
yeah,
movie.
he does. Nice clip on there.
Uh-huh. And he's asking if there's a lot of heroin use happening on the set of Hotel Satan. And
Yeah.
Liam Neeson, with the best line in the movie, says, "We don't do drugs, Callahan. We do film."
I love how his character, too, is like, he's so defensive and, like, just digs his own hole at being a suspect. Like, instead of saying, look, we do this thing, it's innocent, it's harmless, like, he waits, like, an hour and a half, an hour into the movie to finally say, like, look, I had nothing to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I know.
He
It's
could
like
clear himself immediately if by just admitting, but he doesn't. And
like
he's
an
just
hour and 10 minutes into the movie, he goes, "By the way, I'm not sure if this will help, but there's a crazy stalker that's obsessed with me."
just to clear my name.
Yeah, and I get why it's a whodunit, and they want to wait that
right.
long to tell you who the killer is, but
And-
it's
yeah.
really stupid.
And I remember, like, because I've seen the movie a few times, so I knew he wasn't the killer. But I kind of remember the first time I saw it, and I was thinking he was, like, possibly the killer because of specifically being so suspicious. And it's like, looking at it now, it's like, dude, just fucking clear yourself with a line of dialogue, you know?
I know. It would have taken literally a line of dialogue.
Yeah.
Neeson, he's wearing that sweet vinyl Hotel Satan jacket the entire movie, too. I want to point that out, which I want one.
That would be great.
Henry, for my birthday,
You got
try
it, buddy.
and find one of these.
You got it.
All right?
Done.
I'm not joking.
I'm on eBay right now.
Please. There's got to be some in existence.
It has to be. I would hope so.
So we then go to Jim Carrey's funeral. Guns N' Roses are there.
Was Axel there? I didn't
He
see
was. We mostly saw Slash.
Yeah, and I caught, like, Duff and, yeah.
Izzy.
And the drummer who got fired. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all there. Steven Adler, you mean?
Yeah, I think so. It's
Yeah.
not Matt Sorum at that point, right? Yeah.
No, it's pre-Sorum.
Yeah.
Uh,
But then Slash shows up again.
yeah, I know. Wait, but they're all wearing their uniforms to his funeral.
Yeah.
Slash in his fucking hat,
Yeah.
and Axel is there wearing a nice purple bandana. At least wear a black bandana, Axel. It's a funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in full, like...
That's what Hulk Hogan does. Did you know that?
I did not.
I saw a picture of Hulk Hogan at a funeral recently, and he was wearing a black bandana.
Was it a funeral for his career?
Hey, listen, let's not worry about Hulk Hogan. He was just awarded $120 million by Gawker.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Fucking-
I know he was having some rough times, but...
Remember they put out that sex tape where he uses the N-word?
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, he's
Wow.
I know.
So he's no longer insolvent.
What does that word mean? Good word.
Poor, like completely bankrupt. Because didn't like his ex-wife like fuck a pool boy and then like steal all his money?
Oh, I didn't know that, but sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But never worry about the Hulkster. He always comes out on top.
Ooh, yeah.
You know why?
Why?
Because he is a real American.
That's true. He
Fights
is a real American.
for everything. Wait, what's the line after that?
I am a real American. Fight for
Fighting.
my rights for every
That's
man.
it. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, great stuff.
it is. I would have liked to see Hulk Hogan in this movie. That would have been perfectly in place.
Oh, that would have been great, giving Liam Neeson a sweet leg drop off the top rope.
Get your moves right. Hulk couldn't make it to the top rope.
No,
He
you're
just
right.
gave leg drops.
Yeah, it's true. He just does the leg
The
drop.
fatal leg drop. Yeah.
That is the worst finishing move. in
It
wrestling
really is.
history.
I always thought that myself.
What are you doing? How is the
Yes.
leg drop that lethal?
Yeah, the underside of a kneecap really gonna kill you. Yeah.
Some guys do shit where it looks like you're gonna die, like
Right.
the Stone Cold Stunner or some shit. But
Or even Macho Man's, from the top rope, the elbow to the larynx, that larynx.
yeah.
Sorry.
Or Superfly Jimmy Snuka from that era, like the
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. He just died. Yeah.
Yeah.
He would do that.
Splash.
The splash. The Superfly splash.
Right? Yeah. Or the DDT, Jake the Snake. Look at us going crazy.
Shawn
Yeah.
Michaels invented the DDT. Did you know that?
No.
Let's
I
do a whole
only know
podcast
wrestling.
about wrestling finishers.
I only. Mine is strictly limited from 1980 to 1990.
Oh yeah. What about Bret the Hitman Hart, the sharpshooter?
What was I don't remember that one.
That was a good.
I know him, but I don't remember his move.
It was a tap move, a submission move.
Okay.
And how about the Undertaker, the old tombstone pile driver?
Oh yeah, nice.
We need to stop this.
The best tangent in many weeks. Oh man, we are slipping the base.
Stop it! You owe me $1.
All right.
But you were about to say we do see Slash again later in this movie.
Firing a harpoon gun.
Yeah. which
Incorrectly, because Liam Neeson gets very... Liam Neeson, I love... When Slash fires the harpoon gun, Liam Neeson gets mad that he hit the wrong target, but he doesn't get mad at Slash. He gets mad at the prop guy.
yeah,
It's so funny.
Slash is shooting this harpoon gun into a boat that's called the Lost Soul.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
And it's at this point that I'm thinking, I want to turn the Deadpool off and watch Hotel Satan. Because this movie seems amazing. This is a movie where you got Jim Carrey, well, actually, like a punk rocker, running around lip-syncing to Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah.
And then later in the movie, Slash has a harpoon gun? I'm in.
I'm in too, and I also like the exchange between Jim Carrey and Schindler, Oscar Schindler, where he says, "I should be doing better things, man. This is a shitty ripoff of The Exorcist." And Liam Neeson goes, "It's not a ripoff. It's an homage."
He said he pronounces that H. He says it's a homage.
Homage.
Yeah.
It's a homage. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, because there's like a lady in the bed while Jim Carrey is lip syncing, and her head starts spinning around.
Oh boy,
It is great.
it's great.
Now, this harpoon gun, of course, later used by Clint Eastwood in the movie to murder the killer.
Oh yeah.
He kills the killer with a harpoon gun. He says, "You shit out of luck."
Yeah, which is a line he says a couple of times.
Yeah, they were going for a catchphrase. And then the movie ends. It's so funny because we just watched Sudden Impact, where like the ending is this like emotional scene where he like saves this woman that's been gang raped.
Mm.
And then this movie ends with he like shoots a harpoon at this guy, and he's like fucking impaled against the wall of a building. And the cop comes and goes, "Where's the killer?" And Clint goes, "He's hanging out back there."
Yeah.
And it's just like, I want this fucking screen to close in on him like the end of a Looney Tunes cartoon. It's ridiculous. Or do like a thumbs up and like have a freeze frame.
It's a real Arnold line. Real Arnold line there.
It is, yeah. It is. It's such an Arnold line.
Stick around.
Have you been watching Arnold's Celebrity Apprentice?
No.
I have.
Yeah.
Do you know what his like "you're fired" is?
What?
It's amazing, dude.
What is it?
He goes, "You're terminated."
Uh-oh.
But
Yeah.
then the best part is, you know how like in the Trump Apprentice, they would take the elevator down to the limo when they get fired? On this show, they take the elevator to the roof and they get on a helicopter. And so what Arnold has started doing is he goes, "You're terminated. Get to the chopper."
Nice.
It's amazing.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I'm really enjoying it.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't. It's hard for me to
Why?
watch
Trump's
anything.
not on there.
I know, but it's just the association. But that's okay. Good for Arnold.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
for Arnold.
It's a good show. Check it out along with the Young Pope.
Smoking in the Pope's room.
Yeah, yeah. Getting clues about his constituents. All right.
He's got Annie Hall as a consigliere.
He loves Coke. Cherry Coke Zero. All right.
And that is not made up. That is part of the show.
Yeah. Young Pope, Sundays and Monday nights on HBO.
We're plugging for HBO. They owe us.
They do.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. What's the franchise?
It's not TV. It's the Young Pope. All right. Listen.
God, you're slipping the boss.
You owe me $2.
Yep.
My favorite line at the funeral scene comes from my friend Dirty Harry. He says, someone says R.I.P., right?
Mm-hmm.
And he responds, "Yeah, R.I.P., rest in peace." Like
Yeah.
the audience of the movie doesn't know that R.I.P. stands
Yeah, that
for rest
was
in peace.
that was stupid.
What the fuck?
Or even the guy showing him, like, I don't think he says, "Do you know what that means?" But he's like, "Can you see it?" And Dirty Harry's like, "Yeah, R.I.P. Rest in peace." Yeah, like what? Yeah, I think he probably, of all people in the world who knows what R.I.P. means, it's probably Dirty Harry.
No, forget that. Everyone does. Everyone
Yeah.
on the planet. You don't need to spell that one out.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. It's not like they showed him a piece of paper with the word insolvent on it or something.
Good one. And then, so at the funeral, everyone disperses. We see a close-up of Liam Neeson because he's still a suspect at this point. He's taking a walk among the tombstones.
Oh! Nice!
Thank you.
Great!
That was my only canned line for this
That's
episode.
Excellent. Oh, man. Yeah, he is nonstop running all night there. He is taken.
Oh, we gotta do Taken. I've never seen any of those.
I saw one of them. Sure. They're fun.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Talk about murdering with impunity.
I mean, he's murdering all over this movie, too. There's one scene where he's on that date with Patricia Clarkson, and these two dudes come up to him looking for an autograph, and they startle him, and he just pulls his Magnum out on him.
Oh, yeah.
You can't do that, dude. Like, it's so funny. Like, cops aren't ever supposed to, like, take their guns out of the holster, like, unless something horrible is happening.
Right.
He never has his gun in that fucking holster.
He should just walk around holding it.
Yeah.
Save him the time.
I mean, it's
I
ridiculous.
like the. I thought it was funny. I liked when towards the end of there when he has the protection from the mobster, and those guys are chasing him, and he beats the living fuck out of them and puts one of them through a car window, and they're like, "No, you got it all wrong. We're here to watch your back." Remember that?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we're your bodyguards. Yeah.
And you can't pass up this movie without talking about the car chase.
There's a big car chase in this movie, and I can't believe this is the second time we've watched a movie that has a toy car that's amazing enough that it can chase after a real car.
It's true.
This was a real Home Alone 3 car chase, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what? He's like rigged this toy car with explosives. Another thing that happens in Home Alone 3.
Yeah.
And it's chasing Clint, and it explodes, right? Does it kill the Chinese American guy?
No. They just injures him because he's wearing a bulletproof vest because of the other piece of advice his ancient Chinese grandfather gave him: when your partner gives you advice, take it.
That's right.
Because Clint told him to wear a bulletproof vest. And it does kill a talk show host, which they don't get into much, but another person on the Deadpool.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a long car chase, a little too long.
I completely agree. It's almost like they like cut the movie and they were like, "Oh my, we only have an hour and 20 minutes. Car chase?" Like,
yeah, it's like a bullet car chase. Homage.
Yeah, it is. It actually is. Yeah. I mean, and that's mostly the movie. There's that character Gus Wheeler who sets himself on fire.
Yeah,
I think the movie is trying to make a point about like the
media.
It's about the media, yeah, and it's about the media overstepping their bounds, and kind of the same point that that our friend, the new press secretary, was making yesterday.
Yeah, I'd like the media to overstep their bounds as much as they can. So, but yeah, back in the day in the 80s, I guess they were, I don't know, this is, before the internet and all that, but I guess they were making some point about the media going too far and exploiting bad situations.
Not letting the police do their job.
Right,
I mean, it's not an interesting point, and it's a fun
movie.
Little, it's a diversion. I would have cut the scene out entirely.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it ends with it turns out it's this guy who's a big Peter Swan fan. As Peter Swan says, Liam Neeson, they envy my talent so much they wish to destroy me.
Right.
And And who wouldn't? Because he's directed films such as Hotel Satan, Night of the Slasher, and Hell Without Satan.
Yeah,
I wrote a lot of the titles down.
That would be a weird movie, Hell Without Satan. I wonder what's going on there. Yeah.
You think it's like The Seventh Seal or something? It's like what's happening in hell while he's playing chess.
Yeah, like pretty boring stuff, probably. Yeah. And I like the killer's name. Another great name for a killer, Harlan Rook.
That is good.
Harlan Rook.
Yeah.
Although now I'm a little on the fence.
And he has
for
a
my
Liam
LVP.
Neeson ponytail.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm a little on the fence now about my LVP because you mentioned another character who actually might be my LVP, but I don't know if we're there yet. You tell me.
Sure. I'm done. You got anything else about the Deadpool?
I liked the relationship between Eastwood and his partner. We said that, but I'll say it again. I thought it was good, and I even liked the little touch when like they're jogging together and his partner can't keep up with him, which is funny because Clint's like almost 60 years old now. But
the Deadpool, by the way, is the first Dirty Harry movie where there is a very visible bald spot on Dirty Harry's side.
Yeah, and he just says like, I'll see you later, and it's just a nice little throwaway line that Harry says to him where he's like, yeah, I'll catch you later for a beer.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's nice.
Like they're friends. I like it.
Yeah. Bow, now.
Oh.
That's right.
So LVP was originally, I was going to say, as a character, I was going to pick the killer. Because I was just a little disappointed that he's just, I don't know, the actor's not really that great, but then again, they don't give him a lot of.
No, I mean it's a whodunit, so we don't really see a lot of the killer. Like to me, like my problem with the killers and the enforcer was that they are given a lot of screen time and they're not interesting, and it's hard to really understand what their motives are.
Yes.
Whereas in this movie, you totally understand his motives. The Deadpool storyline is really good and a really good idea for a Dirty Harry movie.
I agree.
And, and he turns out to be a little bit of a dud, but it's right at the very end, and it's not that big a deal. And whatever, he gets a harpoon through the chest.
So maybe I'll change my LVP to Gus Wheeler because you reminded me that
that's
actor
mine.
He's really hamming it up, and that actor's kind of just an uncomfortable bad performance in that little 5 minutes.
Yeah, he's the guy that sets himself on fire.
Yeah, we'll give him I'm going to give him the LVP.
Cool.
MVP is Liam Neeson.
That's right. But
who's your LVP?
Liam Neeson. But strong shout-outs to Patricia Clarkson and Jim Carrey.
I agree. But no, I said who's your LVP?
Oh, I'm also going with Gus Wheeler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I hated that scene. It's the only scene in the movie where I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like, just cut this out.
So star rating and then rankings.
I'm going to give it a 3.
Okay. All right. I'm going to give it a 4.
Hey, look at you. All right.
And then I got a superhero count.
Do that.
I got 4.
Okay.
We got the Riddler, Jim Carrey.
Riddler.
We got Ra's al Ghul, Liam Neeson.
Oh, I forgot about that.
You did? Yeah. I thought you'd catch that.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah, that was the killer, played by David Hunt, Harlan Rook, played a character in Justice League: The New Frontier. A voice.
Sure, the
nobody
Darwin
important
Cook series. Sure.
And then there's some kid in this movie that I don't even know who the hell he was, but he was a teenager. His name's Justin Whalen. I think he was in Child's Play 3. He had a credit. And he played Jimmy Olsen in Lois and Clark.
Ooh.
But I don't know who he was in this movie. I didn't remember any teenagers in this movie, but he's a kid in the movie, so he counts.
I've got one you didn't get.
Ooh. Go ahead.
So there's a mobster in this movie named Gennaro.
Yeah, sure.
Which I enjoyed because this movie came out the same year as Die Hard. Gennaro,
Gennaro,
also a prominent name in that film.
Nice.
And that guy was in 2 episodes of the 70s Spider-Man series.
Oh, yeah, I didn't look him up.
There you go.
Okay, nicely done. So 5.
Yeah. Who knew? Dirty Harry.
Lots of them all over the place.
Batman villains all over.
God, Jesus Christ.
All right. Rank them.
5-1 or number 1 to 5?
5-1. How about that?
The worst Dirty Harry movie for me is that number 5, The Enforcer.
Mm.
Number 4, Sudden Impact.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Magnum Force. Number 2, The Deadpool. And number 1, by pretty much a mile, Dirty Harry. But overall, before you give your rankings, I'm going to say it's a pretty solid series. As series go, as we've covered them, I'd say along with Back to the Future, it's probably, I'd say, one of the most solid series, given many weaknesses. But
I'm not sure I agree with that.
Yeah, I had a good time. Like, for the most part, there was a lot to talk about, and I really liked it. I'd have to look back at everything we covered, but like, I think even in its weakest moments, like there wasn't a movie like when we covered Die Hard where it was just like fucking unwatchable.
I'll take Friday the 13th over Dirty Harry any day.
The whole thing.
Yeah, I mean 9 and 10 are bad, but like there are. I mean, I like the first 8 Friday the 13th movies better than I like Sudden Impact and The Enforcer.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So, what are your rankings?
I'm gonna go with number 5, the worst Dirty Harry movie, Sudden Impact.
Oh. Okay.
Number 4, The Enforcer. Number 3, The Deadpool.
Oh.
Number 2, Magnum Force. And number 1, Dirty Harry. And I would recommend to the people out there, if you aren't going to be a completist and you're interested in the Dirty Harry franchise, watch Dirty Harry and Magnum Force and then just skip to Deadpool.
That's a fair point. I mean, those are my top 3.
You never need to see Sudden Impact or The Enforcer.
Yeah.
I didn't have a good time watching them.
I mean, if you want to
watch the first 5 minutes of The Enforcer, you'll get Mickey, and then
watch the first 10 minutes of Sudden Impact. If you want to see Go Ahead, Make My Day.
Yeah, exactly. Totally, you're right.
Yeah. So our rankings are pretty different, but we're in solidarity on the first one being a hell of a movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and solidarity on those being the weakest too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. That's it, guys.
Yep.
Next week on the podcast.
On the franchise.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I didn't know if we changed the name.
We're getting a little too testosterone-y lately with these Dirty Harry and Predator movies. Am I right?
Yeah.
So let's take a trip over to the lighter side of things. We're going to be covering Legally Blonde. All right? Mm-hmm. Legally Blonde by Robert Luketich. And the sequel, Legally Blonde 2, Red, White, and Blonde.
You got it.
And Hank won't watch it, but I will be, if I have time,
yeah,
watching the direct-to-DVD sequel, Legally Blondes, plural.